the Tigers had scored the second most runs in the American League. The Royals had the lowest ERA, and very good pitching still beats very good hitting. Jeremy Guthrie and the Royals bullpen held the Tigers to 2 runs and extended their winning streak to 6 games. Game 2 is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Royals baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium. A win tonight, and the Royals will have their first 7-game winning streak since September of 2011. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. At the beginning of the season, if there were unknowns about this team, it was their remade starting rotation and their young offense, and those are still the 2 biggest topics of conversation. I think if there was a given, HUD, it was the Royals' defense and their bullpen. Both have thrived during this winning streak.
There's no question about it, but you cannot win baseball games without a great back end of the bullpen. And that defense, whoa, when they're airtight, they're making plays and saving runs. Now, they have made a few more errors than we've expected, but the defense overall has been spectacular. Highlight reel after highlight reel, you see Royals pop up on them worldwide. Alex Gordon, he gets Trevor Turf on him from the K here almost every game. He's got tremendous ability, and that's saving runs. Now that bullpen, they are solid. And the reason they're shining right now is because they have a lead going back into the back end of the bullpen. And that's what Ned wants. Set these guys up. Love the energy, love the emotion, but most of all, I love the stuff. They got what it takes to shut a game down.
The only runs for the Tigers last night were the result of a Miguel Cabrera 2-run home run. However, if you look at the Tigers' 3, 4, and 5 hitters, they were a combined 1 for 12 last night. Kauffman Stadium for the Royals and the Tigers, and that's where Miguel Cabrera clinched the first Triple Crown in 45 years. He got a standing ovation here at Kauffman Stadium. And earlier tonight, Rex Hudler had a chance to talk to Miggy about that.
Early this season, when we talked in Detroit, you told me that the highlight of the year really was coming here to the K at the last game of the season when you got the Triple Crown, first time in 45 years, and how the people here warmed your heart by the standing ovation. Do you have something you'd like to tell the people here in Kansas City?
Yeah, I want to say thank you very much for the wish you guys gave me last year, but I want to give you guys my own wish for the fan in Kansas City.
Standing up?
Yeah, standing up for Kansas City. Thank you very much. That was very emotional last year, and I'm happy for that.
Raise the roof for the people.
Roof. Yeah, Kansas City. Thank you.
Nigga, you're the best. Hey, go easy on the Royals tonight.
Oh, you got to play hard, you know. It's baseball. You never know what's going to happen. We got to play hard. You guys going to play hard. That's part of fun, you know. We compete. That's the more important thing. Go out there and compete.
Have fun, Mickey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And he had a 2-run home run in Game 1 last night, but it wasn't enough as the Royals took Game 1 3-2. Game 2 is coming up next. Is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Play the Powerball and Mega Million Scratchers game to win $100 grand or more. By your Kansas City Chevy dealer, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. And by ATT Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. And it's not quite summer officially yet, but it sure feels like it with temperatures into the 90s today. Tonight's game is brought to you in high definition by Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. So the Royals shaved a lead, one game, off the Tigers' lead in the division last night. Tigers now lead the Royals by 4.5 games, and here's Jim Leland's lineup tonight against Wade Davis. Tigers with the second most runs scored in the American League, but held to just 2 runs last night by Jeremy Guthrie in the Royals bullpen. And the only change tonight, Don Kelly will be in center field instead of Avisail Garcia. Second start of the year for Wade Davis. The Tigers beat him in Detroit back on April the 24th.
All right, Wade Davis, he's really got to be able to keep that ball down. You see the walks, 27 strikeouts. Not too bad of splits, but the average against is 335. So he finds a little bit too much to the plate at times. However, he's been averaging 18.8 pitches per inning. And so far this year, that's one of the highest in baseball. So early countouts for him is going to be important so he can go deeper into the game. Defending behind him, Escobar. He's hoping that Wade Davis can direct the hitters of the Tigers to hit the ball down. Anything towards that left side of the infield, Moustakas and Escobar, they gobble him up. They got tremendous range. It's great to watch Escobar play. He's got energy and range and a cannon for an arm. Hopefully he'll get a lot of work tonight.
Andy Dirks continues to lead off for the Tigers as Austin Jackson is coming back from the disabled list with a hamstring injury. He is playing in the minor leagues, rehabbing that injury. And the first pitch of the game is in for a strike. Andy Dirks was 1 for 4 last night. He was also hit by a pitch. A little bit outside with a curve. 1-1.
Yeah, as far as his pitches go, he's going to try to sink that fastball. He's comfortable around 92, 93. He will reach 94 at times with his four seam.
And Dirks gets it past a diving Chris Getz and opens the game with a single.
He's got the little slider, curve, changeup, and he likes to cut that ball. A little bit of a smaller break. But that's what he wants. He wants ground balls, and that one just found a hole. I mentioned righties are hitting 322, lefties 345. 7 home runs he's given up to left-handed bats, 3 to the right-handers.
Torrey Hunter had 2 more hits last night, so he's up to 306. And he scored one of the 2 runs. Strike over the outside, 0-1.
Okay, another thing that's helped Wade Davis is his tempo. He's been really good lately. He gets the ball up there and he throws it. And about 5 of his first starts, he was posturing around. He was taking a little bit too much time. And Dave Island said, we really want to help him with his confidence, the way he looks, by getting up there and throwing it. Good hard fastball down in the zone there.
And you say Dave Island is trying to help Wade Davis with his tempo. Most of the time, a pitcher doesn't realize he's pitching as slow as he is.
Right, so it's it's part of the pitching coach's job to help him with his rhythm and really overall mound presence.
Hunter cracked his bat, and David Lowe makes a play in right field. 1 down with Dirks going back to first.
Okay, David Lowe did a good job of battling that sun. Those low liners are the ones that sometimes can hurt you here early at the K. Right field is the only spot really that can have an effect on the play. Slight breeze blowing again from the right field foul pole to the left. This guy doesn't need any wind to help him. Very quiet as far as his body language.
There's a bird flying around in between the mound and home plate, which is distracting Cabrera. So clearly a bird that is a Royals fan.
But it's a hungry bird, okay? There's a video game, Angry Birds, but he's not angry. He just wants to eat. And when you fly in front of a hitter trying to pick up a ball going 90, it's time to call time.
And then there was that poor bird in spring training years ago when Randy Johnson was pitching.
Yeah.
And the ball last night felt like that bird. Cabrera connecting against Jeremy Guthrie.
Yeah, it was a ball up, and when it's out over the plate, he's not going to miss it.
Two 2-0. And if it seems like Miguel Cabrera is very good here, it's because he is. He had over 400 at Kauffman Stadium last year. He has 69 hits in his career at Kauffman Stadium, and that's the most for any road ballpark for him in his career.
He has grounded into 10 double plays. Wade wants it to be 11 right here.
Instead, he gets jammed and sends it out into left field for a base hit, and that is his 70th career hit at Kauffman Stadium. And the Tigers have 2 on with 1 out.
Oh, he's the type of hitter that does not miss when it's out over the plate. So you try to get him on the edges and down low and hope he hits it at somebody. See how he pulls his hands in? Doesn't even move his lower body. Just uses all hands and upper bodies. Look at the hand position. Stays inside of that ball. And he has a little takeoff with the top hand.
Pitch wasn't even a strike.
Nope. It's 2 inches in.
Ball 1-2, Prince Fielder. A nice save by Salvador Perez. Fielder 0 for 4 last night. All of his outs in the air. And now 0 for 9 against the Royals this year.
Gabe Prince has grounded into 6 double plays. So we'll try to talk him into doing the same thing.
2-0.
Now Chris Getz, the second baseman, he's playing him to pull. So I'm sure that Escobar has communicated with Moose at third base, saying, look, if you hit the ball, I'm covering on the double play. Got to really know where your defenders are playing.
And now 3 balls, no strikes.
Well, he's trying to keep that ball out of the middle end on him for every reason. He's a big power hitter. Likes it in there. And he'll definitely have the green light here. So you got to be careful with this location.
Three and 1. Prince Fielder last year put a show on at Kauffman Stadium during the Home Run Derby. He won the Home Run Derby with 28 home runs. Batting with Dirks at second, Cabrera at first with 1 out. Chases a breaking ball, gets Escobar. Hosmer, double play. Big play for Wade Davis. So 2 hits, no runs thanks to the double play. Royals coming up against Max Scherzer. The Indians have lost 8 in a row. Royals cutting their deficit by 1 last night and a chance to cut it to 4.5 with a win tonight. And the lineup against right-hander Max Scherzer. No changes from last night. Salvador Perez continues to thrive as the number 3 hitter, having a great homestand. He's hitting .360 with 7 runs scored and 7 RBIs. And the Royals will need that and then some against Max Scherzer, the former MU Tiger.
Well, I'll tell you, all these statistics right here that you see circled, especially that opponent average at 185, it's going to be really hard for these guys to scratch anything off him if he's on his game. However, he's 8-0 and he's undefeated. Why not now? Why not tonight? Find some holes. You know, he'll give up a few homers. He's given up 6. He's given up 4 to right-handers and 2 to left-handers. But 174 for righties, 191 for lefties. No one's hitting him with any kind of consistency because he's got tremendous movement with his pitches. He's consistent with all four. That's his key. He's going to sink his fastball a little bit. It has tremendous run. He's got a nasty slider, changeup, curveball. His changeup, it's like a James Shields changeup. He can throw it anytime he wants to. It's a beauty.
94 miles an hour, 1 ball, 2 strikes. We just showed you that the Royals scored 5 off of him back in April. Scherzer got the win, but 5 runs in 5 innings.
It can be done.
Alex and Scherzer go back to their Big 12 days. 2-2. Alex taken in the first round by the Royals in 2005. Scherzer taken by Arizona in the first round the next year. And Alex is a .400 hitter against Scherzer. That's in the big leagues. I don't know what he did in the Big 12. But here he fills out the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Work him. Tax his pitch count early. You know, his fastball's coming.
And he went with a changeup. Alex didn't go for it. And he leads off the inning with a walk. As we go down to the field, and here's Joe Goldberg.
Ryan, thanks. Nice start there for Alex Gordon against Max Scherzer. And many people believe Scherzer is the best guy throwing right now in that unbelievably talented rotation. I talked to Max about what the biggest difference for him this year has been, and he said he changed the grip on his curveball just after he faced the Royals, tightened it up a little bit. He now has confidence in that pitch to throw it whenever he needs to, and so that has added an extra weapon for him, or a more reliable one at least. And I should point out that I talked to Brian Pena, who's not catching him tonight, but the former Royal, and he says of Max Scherzer that he reminds him of Zach Greinke, the way he competes on and off the field, whatever he's doing, he thinks he's at that level right now, guys.
All right, thank you, Joel. And another thing that he has really benefited from, taking nothing away from his abilities as a pitcher, he gets tremendous run support. Great save there by Avila, and it's 2-0 on Eric Hosmer. Now, Scherzer is somebody who would thrive without a lot of run support, but for the most part this year, he has pitched with very little stress.
But he's forcing it so far early. He's off balance. You can see him, and that's the whole key. Pitching and hitting is who can get who off balance. Pitcher gets off balance, he misses out over the plate, he gets hit. Pitcher makes the hitter off balance, he gets outs.
Two and one on Hosmer.
And another thing, you know, Joe was talking about the staff and how talented the starters are on Jim Leyland's Tigers. Scherzer's learned some stuff from Verlander. Mainly arm angle, his arm angle, and max effort. You know how Verlander doesn't throw 98 in the first inning. He builds it up, he saves it, and he's taught Max a little bit of that too. He doesn't have to come out there with his hard, heavy fastball right away. He can go ahead and just try to find his rhythm early. That's what Verlander tries to do. Get the rhythm, get your confidence going, and see how things go from there, and see how the team adjusts to it. Then you can always add to your fastball later in the game.
Three balls, 1 strike. And he has a pretty violent delivery as it is. And there was some concern when Max Scherzer signed in the first round that perhaps that delivery wasn't conducive to being a starter. And some people saw him more as a reliever. But he's been able to harness that. Left side, Peralta backs out into left. And Dirks comes in to make the play. So Hosmer flies to shallow left on a 3-1 pitch. Alex back to first. And now look at the Tigers defensively.
Okay, the Tigers, they have the second least amount of errors in the AL, just 23. That's because they make all the plays that they're supposed to. They hit it right at him. Don Kelly, this guy, he can play anywhere. He's a tremendous athlete. They love him, and managers especially do, because he can play anywhere. They're filling in right now in center field until Jackson can get healthy and get back.
Outside to Salvador Perez, who has 2 career home runs against Max Scherzer, including his first major league home run back in 2011.
Okay, Scherzer takes his time coming home. I mean, he's over 1.35 seconds. Anything over 1.3, you get a good jump, you can steal the base.
Pulled foul.
Alex has stolen one and has been caught one time.
And we discussed this last night that, well, the Royals, well, now they're 3rd in the league in stolen bases. Just a few days ago, they had the most stolen bases. They have just 1 in their last 8 games.
It's a good situation to move Gordon here. The way Salvador, he hits the ball all over the place. Hits it on the ground. They got 1st and 3rd.
Didn't mean to do it. He made contact. 1-2.
Okay, Salvador Perez, he got his first career homer off of Max Scherzer in Tiger Stadium. That was a bomb. He got another one going the opposite field.
Now Alex runs. Pitch is not a strike, and Alex slides in head first with his 2nd stolen base of the year.
Okay, Scherzer takes time getting the ball home. You can steal off of him. Watch the high leg kick. High leg kick comes home. That's a good ball, too, for Alex Avila to throw. This is a little bit off with his aim on the bag. Gordon goes in, no problem. Salvador Perez, a .385 hitter with a runner in scoring position. Give Wade Davis all the confidence he needs to get him a run here. He'll need more than 1.
Very high to left field. Gordon plays it halfway as Dirks brings it down. 2 away.
Nothing better than a dirty uniform in the first inning. It tells yourself you're in a big league ball game in a beautiful yard like the K.
And now Billy Butler. 1 for 4 last night. He now has an 11-game hitting streak against the Tigers going back to last year. Billy has the most at-bats of any Royal against Scherzer.
What is he?
11 out of 39, 282.
Pretty good. He told me before the game all he's going to do is just look for his pitch out over the middle and not miss it with a short, quick swing. Leave the thinking out of it.
And as good as he is against Scherzer, he's even better against tomorrow's starter, Justin Verlander. Down and away, 2-0. Scherzer's from the St. Louis area, drafted by the Cardinals out of high school. He decided to go to MU, and in his sophomore year in 05, he was the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year. And then in 2006, the first-round pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's a tough angle, too. I mean, he throws hard, and for a right-hand hitter, when he comes down, not quite sidearm, but pretty close, right-hand hitter really has to hang in there.
Got that right. That shoulder, man, it's important you keep that thing closed as long as you possibly can to keep your power. And the arm angle allows more movement.
.95 miles an hour, 3 balls and 1 strike. So Scherzer was 3-1 with Alex. Alex ended up walking. He was 3-1 with Hosmer and made a good pitch. And now 3-1 with Butler. So a 3-ball count to 3 of the first 4 hitters.
He wants to drive a run in, but not on Scherzer's pitch. He's got the edge here. He can take it. Doesn't have to be his.
another walk.
There you go. Let Lorenzo Cain handle it. Lorenzo is a .351 hitter with a runner in scoring position. So maybe he can get the job done here with 2 outs.
Jeff Jones, his Tiger pitching coach. For a guy like Scherzer and how well he's pitched the past 3 years, normally a guy gets into trouble like this and you just leave him out there. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He can find it on his own, but it seems when a pitching coach comes out this early that maybe he sees something specifically that he wants to call to Scherzer's attention before this inning gets away from him.
Yeah, and that's what he's doing. It looks to me like Scherzer's balance isn't proper. It looks like he's overthrown early in this first inning. His front shoulder's coming out, and you can see after he throws the ball, he's really falling off hard to the first base side. He typically falls that way anyway, but he doesn't spin fall off. So you got to get him before he settles in.
Lorenzo Cain has driven in 5 during this homestand, and he has a 5-game hitting streak. He has Alex Gordon at second base, Billy Butler at first with 2 outs. Got the call, 0-1. In the most clutch of situations, 2 outs with runners in scoring position, Lorenzo Cain is hitting .400. And so far the Royals are not going for his changeup. I mean, that's a perfect changeup right there, right? I mean, it's out over the middle of the plate, and at the very end it dips down. Lorenzo didn't even flinch.
It's a good take.
And then a slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Lorenzo's seen all 3 pitches in the first 3 deliveries from Scherzer.
Yeah, you know, it almost looked like a little cutter. Didn't have a lot of action to that slider. He stayed out over the middle of the plate. That ball could be hit.
All the Tigers took 1 step toward the third base dugout. They were playing umpire and thought the inning was over, but Scherzer did not get the call from Jordan Baker.
And that's a good call by Jordan Baker. That's off the plate and good discipline so far by Lorenzo Cain. Torrey Hunter, the right fielder, he's in very shallow. He thinks if Lorenzo hits one to right, he wants a chance to throw Gordon out. He's pretty shallow out there in right.
On the ground is short. I think Peralta will work a little quicker this time around. And he gets the force on Butler at second base. No score at the end of 1. Inning. Royals trying to win 7 in a row to make his birthday a little sweeter. In tonight's game, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. So every home run tonight raises $10,000 for prostate cancer research. And you can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. Victor Martinez, Johnny Peralta, and Alex Avila coming up in the second inning. Wade Davis got out of the first, getting Prince Fielder to ground into a double play with 2 on and 1 out. 1-1. Last night, Victor Martinez flied to Lorenzo Cain in center field 4 times.
Hey, he's right on the ball. I mean, you square the ball up on the baseball diamond right back where it came from, you're not missing by much. So they are fortunate those were all in the air.
Broke his bat, and David Lowe left the plate on a couple of bounces. Victor Martinez will hold with a leadoff single.
Okay, Davis, he likes to pitch inside. He's got a cutter, and that'll get in guys' kitchens and they'll break their bat. But it was elevated, and that's the reason it was able to fall in for a hit. Now, if that pitch was down and in, and he hit that, he hits it on the ground to Hosmer. It's all about location for a pitcher. And a hitter. He's looking up. He looks up there.
Johnny Peralta, 1 for 2 with 2 walks last night. So he is still second in the league in hitting at .339. But the play connected to Peralta that was talked about the most was his perceived nonchalance on a ground ball from Lorenzo Cain, which resulted in a late throw to first, an infield hit for Cain, and what ended up being the game-winning run. 1-1.
Nonchalant is more like a playing without a sense of urgency. You know, you don't become a major league player by being lazy. I never use that word on a major leaguer, okay? Because this is the highest level in the world. Now, some guys play with more of a sense of urgency than others, but that guy's pumped up there. Used his cup to catch that ball. Put him in the lane.
1-2.
Peralta is grounded into 4 double plays.
And I think everybody in the ballpark thought it was a ground ball to short and out. A routine ground ball to short.
Last night's play you're talking about.
Last night's play. And I think you have to give Lorenzo more credit than you criticize Peralta, because Lorenzo could have run 1 gear slower to first base and it would have been an out. And he came out of the box quick and beat the throw.
And did you hear the roar of the crowd?
Yeah.
On the single that scored that potential and what ended up being a go-ahead run and the winning run. I mean, it was a roar. Look at, he says, I got a chance on this. Look at that athlete.
And that lean, crossing first base like a sprinter going through the tape.
That's exactly what you do. Now the lunge, sometimes the lunge you'll land on your heel and you'll get a heel bruise, but that's what you want. You want to lean across that bag, and it really gives the appearance that you got there quicker.
Still 2-2.
It's a lot like Willie Wilson. Look at the strides. Look at that. Boy, see the heel? Sometimes you'll get a heel bruise when you lunge like that, but look where he touches the base, young players. Right in the front part of the base. You get there quicker. You don't step on the top. Get the front part.
And speaking of Willie Wilson, he's going to join us in the top of the 3rd inning to talk about Royals Alumni Fantasy Camp and other topics.
Great to have him in here.
Lorenzo Cain wearing Willie Wilson's old number 6. another foul ball. And that is 6 in this plate appearance for Peralta. And you mentioned tempo. And I think also on the list of things the Royals want Wade Davis to improve would be to reduce his pitch count. Some of which he can't control, like in this at bat, because of all the foul balls. It's not like he's all over the place with his control. And then Peralta lays off a very close curveball. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a perfect spot. And you're talking about a put-away pitch, and there it is. Must have been low, but that's a great put-away pitch.
Martinez runs, and it's lifted to center field. Kane is back as the wind grabs it. Kane makes the play, 1 down.
Okay, Jordan Baker, home plate umpire in tonight's game, got to be about 6'7". Okay, now Salvador's 6'3", and if we can get Salvi to stand up, there it is. He's a couple inches.
He is listening to the broadcast down there.
Yeah. No, we got him to stand up. That's good. Salvi is a couple inches shorter, so I'm going to go 6'4", 6'5". Okay, so you might think he has a hard time seeing the low pitch, but watch him. He gets down right over Salvador's outside shoulder, and he's in position. Pretty good flexibility and good quad strength to do that all game.
Outside, ball 1 to Alex Avila.
Okay, there he is. Some umpires, they'll put their hand on the catcher. Some catchers don't like that. Others don't mind.
Fouled away by Avila. Batting just 172 after going 0 for 3 last night. And that's something the Tigers want to see more of from him. Swinging earlier in the count. He has good strike zone judgment, and maybe too much. And because he's not afraid to take some pitches, oftentimes he will be down in the count 0-2 or 1-2.
Remember yesterday I told you that he was hitting a lot of atom balls right at people, right at him. So I talked to him today about that. I said, are you healthy? Your knees, your hips, everything good? Yep, groin's good. Okay. Well, your production numbers aren't like they were a few years ago. Is there any reason? So you have to learn how to ask it the right way. You can't say, why are you struggling?
Right.
You know.
So, and one of those ways is asking a grown man how his groin is doing?
No. Well, he's had some injuries with his legs.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes if you're injured and you're trying to hit, there's the reason for your lack of production. But he told me the same thing. He says, I got buzzard luck. He says, these guys have been playing these positions for 100 years, and I haven't figured out how to hit it to the right or to the left. He says he feels good. He says he's more focused on his catching duties, with his staff, and that's what's going to get these guys back to the World Series, is his catching, not his hitting.
Fastball in on him, 92 miles an hour. And Davis strikes out his first.
Okay, good location. That's that cutter. Good spot. Right when he lets go of that ball, he puts a little bit more finger pressure on that middle finger, and that gets it to cut in.
Omar Infante was 1 for 4 last night, batting at .295. And ahead with strike 1.
Notice Infante, on his batting glove on his lower hand, on his left hand, it's got a pad on the top of it. So when he does get hit there on the top of the knuckles there, that pad absorbs some of the blow.
And remember last year in the World Series in Game 4 when the Tigers were swept by the Giants, Omar Infante was hit by a pitch and broke his hand. Very easy to do with all those small bones in the hand and the wrist.
Hitters, they're very leery of getting hit in the hands. And pitchers, they know that, so they throw at their hands lots of times.
Off the end of the bat, shallow right. Lowe's going to have to play it on a bounce. And luckily for the Royals, Martinez has not run well, so even with 2 outs and going on contact, he'll just move up 90 feet. And there are 2 on for Kelly.
Now, that's just a classic doinker. That's a beautiful thing if you're a hitter. Pitchers don't like it, but what are you going to do? Getsy's pointing it out, but there's no chance. Let's see what Don Kelly can do. Hitters love the doinkers. I never knew a hitter that didn't like a doinker. Now, they might be embarrassed a little bit at times. Maybe they might take some grief from some of their teammates. It's a line shot in the books, and that's a beautiful curveball.
Yeah, I think the great way to defend yourself against a doinker is to say, well, what does my batting average look like? Right?
That's right.
1-1 on Don Kelly. Playing in center field. Right-hand hitting Avisail Garcia was in center field last night, and he was 1 for 4. Martinez at second and Fonte at first. Got the call over the outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Up the left field line, fair ball just inside the line. Martinez will score. Now they're going to wave home Infante, and a good throw will get him. He is out. So another outfield assist for Alex Gordon as he connects with Mike Moustakas. The Tigers take the lead, but Infante is out trying to score from first base. Cabrera had nothing to do with it, but he's a subject of our Sprint Unlimited Answers poll. Can Miguel Cabrera break the 1930 record of Hack Wilson with 191 RBIs? And with 69 at this point of the season, he is on pace for 180. So even with the big number that he has already, that's going to have to spike between now and the end of the year. Now, you were doing some exhaustive research, Hud. How many games did Hack Wilson play in 1930?
155.
Okay.
That's less games than they play now. But that's, I'm not so sure that they played 162 back then or not.
They did not. Strike three called, so 3 pitches. Low is down, and that's Scherzer's first strikeout tonight and his 101st of the year.
Okay, George Brett, he has a couple of different approaches, but the way he hit, he took his top hand off the bat when he swung. Okay, some guys like to take their top hand off, feel like they leverage their front side a little bit better. They get a little bit more pop, a little bit more resistance. Some guys keep 2 hands on the bat. And there's not one wrong way. But let's check out Moose. Okay, Moose in his base hit back up the middle yesterday. Beautiful stroke. Look at the balance. Okay, he leverages his front side, but that balance is perfect. Okay, now here's Alex Gordon in Boston. We'll show you the contrasting styles. Alex has more of a George Brett style. See how he takes his hand off? But still good resistance on the front side, great balance there. So there's no wrong way. It's just personal preference. And for those that don't remember George, of course, he started with a lot lower hand position, but he also took his hand off. And you can see the resistance and the good balance there without seeing his lower half. So George so far has been able to work with both. However, the Charlie Lyle theory that he uses is one hand, top hand off. Weight transfer, stiff front side. Okay, see this is last swing. Now he took it off, but after the swing was finished.
Hard slider strikes out Moustakas, and now back-to-back strikeouts for Scherzer.
Now when it comes to teaching young players the different kind of swings like that, you know, that's different too, because young immature hitters, sometimes if you take a hand off, the kid will spin all the way around. He doesn't really have the concept of the balance in that whole thing. So that's why a lot of Little League coaches will teach 2 hands on. However, if the kid's more progressed and has a pretty good idea, it's okay if he takes his hand off. It's all about the kid and the coach and whatever that you believe. There's no wrong one, way. It's not a wrong way.
And I think that's been George's approach. I overheard him talking to a hitter around the batting cage. I won't say whom, but he said, quote, "Give it a try." Not, this is the way you do it. This is the only way you do it. Or you don't do it one way. Give it a try. See how it feels. Maybe it will work for you. Maybe not.
And that's when you do that, during batting practice. And in the game, it's hard enough. You just got to get up there and react. Don't think. Easier said than done. Some guys go up there and think. You can see them. They're locked up. And lots of times it's paralysis by analysis with all of the information that was fed to them through their hitting meetings. So that's one thing the players got to be leery of too. Overload.
And it's similar in pitching too. I'm sure Dave Island, as a pitcher is playing catch in the outfield or throwing his in-between session, will change their grips. Try this grip. See if that works for you. Getz hits it high and deep to right field. And Torrey Hunter to the track brings it down. That went into a crosswind. So Getz is out, and so are the Royals in order in the second inning. Alumni Fantasy Camp, which is coming up in January of next year at the Royals' beautiful spring training facility in Surprise, Arizona. And if you go, you can race Willie Wilson, which might be easier today than 20, 30 years ago.
It'd be real easy today.
How are you, Willie?
I'm doing
good.
I'm doing good. Nice to see you.
Now, I want to, before we get to fantasy camp, because we're going to spend some time on it, I want to get your thoughts on the feeling these days that stealing a base isn't what it used to be. That going from first to second, as Moustakas makes a nice play in foul territory to retire Andy Dirks. Your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, a few years ago, they started juicing up, and the stolen bases kind of got overlooked. And for me, the stolen base or going from first to third or double stealing, that's part of baseball. And to me, if you can do all that, to me, you're a complete baseball player to be able to hit and run, steal, to do a lot of different things. But, you know, a lot of us couldn't hit home runs, so we had to steal bases. So, go ahead.
13 inside the park home runs. How many here at the K did you have?
You know, I really don't know that. I know at least it had to be at least 5. But I got a lot of them at different places. I know my first one was in Chicago, the White Sox. I got a couple against the Yankees. That was pretty cool. Your old team.
Yes, we just saw one of them right there.
Yeah, that was. I saw Mickey Rivers. He just gave up on it. Once it dropped, he just said, "Oh, forget that. We ain't getting it."
Well, you know, it was kind of a little humpback, though, but it was just in a perfect spot, and it kind of got to the wall. But once I got her to second, you know, I was so used to hitting home runs like that in high school that when I hit third, I was stronger, and a lot of guys got weaker.
Now, Torrey Hunter down on strikes. That's the second strikeout for Wade Davis. 2 down.
Okay, there it is. He's just falling in there. What was it like playing on the turf here at the K?
Well, you know, I was signing some autographs over there at the Budweiser patio, and it was really hot, and I told people, it's not hot. You guys should have turf out there. It's at least 30 degrees hotter outside on turf than it is, you know, just the regular outside. So when you're on turf, man, it was hot.
Willie, did you always slide on your right side?
I always slid on my right side because they would face the outfield. And when I looked at the outfield, I could see whether the ball was overthrown or who was picking it up. And if you really slide to the outside and pop up, you can pop up and be on your feet and ready to go. Whereas you go head first, there's too many things for me that can go wrong. You can get your hand stepped on, your arm stepped on. And to me, you throw with your hands and your arm, you hit with your hands, and then, you know, you field with your hands. So you need those. Those are important. But you know, this new generation of guys are sliding head first, and I just don't like it for me.
On the ground to short. Wade Davis needed a quick inning, and he got it. 9 pitches. Tigers down in order 1, 2, 3. We'll visit more with Willie when we get to the bottom of the third. Detroit leads 1-0. husband. He has 3 teenagers that he tries to stay current with by getting familiar with the technology they use, but also insists on face-to-face conversation. An inspiration to many, Paul is a public school teacher and aims to be a positive influence for many of his students who need a male role model in their lives. And earlier this evening, Paul was named the 2013 Royals Father of the Year as part of the club's annual collaboration with the National Center for Fathering. And isn't that an award we would all like to win someday? Good for him.
Yeah, that was pretty good right there.
We've got Willie Wilson in the booth as the Tigers lead 1-0 in the bottom of the third, and Alcides Escobar at the plate. Okay, so you answered my stolen base question.
Okay.
And, you know, I trust the advanced statistics that say maybe the stolen base isn't as important as it once was. You had 83 one year. I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to see that again. But at the same time, and I think a lot of people are following that, Willie, because stolen bases are down. I mean, the Royals are 3rd in the league in stolen bases, and I wouldn't really see them as a running team. So my next question for you is, as Escobar hits a little pop-up off of first, and Fielder reaching over the railing makes a nice play. Imagine you played against his father.
Yeah, Cecil.
So how about the decline in the Willie Wilsons and the Kenny Loftons and the Ricky Hendersons and the Tim Rainses in the game today?
Well, I just, you know, I know these guys, leadoff hitters, are more powerful now, but it's just another weapon that you can use out there. And I know that if there's somebody out, like we got somebody out there that's on base, that's got a little bit of speed, just see what the infielders, how edgy they get or itchy. You know, they're going to rush. They're going to do some different things. And if you can get out there and make them do that, make them get out of the ordinary, that's what a stolen base does, or a good base runner does. And then he also helps everybody behind him, because you can get on with a walk, still second, third, score a run without a hit. And that makes it real good when you're up 1-0 in the first inning with no hits. So, you know, the stolen base for me has gone down, but I know when you see a lot of games in the playoffs, it's so important when that guy gets in the stolen base position, in second position, in scoring position. Boston Red Sox won a game in World Series or in the playoffs just because the guy got in scoring position, and how important is that? So, you know, I just think it's a game that a statistic that's kind of gone down, but it really is important for this game.
Willie, fantasy camp's coming up. How excited do you get playing in that? We know the fans do, but how about for you?
Well, you know, we get to play one day against them on a Thursday, but, you know, after that day, we're sore for the rest of the time there, and the campers are going to be sore for the first day they get there. But it's a fun time. You know, campers come on out, and you get a chance to meet the great George Brett,
the great Willie Wilson.
John Mayberry, and a host of other guys that will come down and really have some fun with you. There's a lot of joke telling. There's a lot of baseball. It's 2 games a day. And if you like playing baseball, come on out. And we just have a lot of fun out there.
Bill Pacoda.
Billy's a great guy. And, you know, we've had a lot of good guys here, Joe Randa. So it's just a fun time. And then the proceeds, the money goes to some charities that we kind of put out to people here in the wintertime. And it's just a good situation all the way around. I love it.
Well,
it's fun.
I'm glad you said I love it, because I think the guys, meaning the former players, have as much fun as the campers do, right?
We have probably more fun than the campers do, because we don't have to play every day. But it's a great thing, and so people, please sign up and come on out.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Willie. Really appreciate it. Always
Thank
good
you.
to see you. And join Willie at Alumni Fantasy Camp coming up in January of next year.
because all my family tell me that. They was so excited and happy for that.
Man, I'm going to tell you what. He is like Salvador Perez, a fellow Venezuelan, and Escobar. They just love playing baseball. They love coming to the park. And Miguel, if you ever get a chance, not too many people get that opportunity to talk to him, he just exudes joy and happiness. He's fun. He doesn't act like a Triple Crown winner.
Great jump by Lorenzo Cain to grab the line drive for Prince Fielder. One down in the fourth.
He's a humble guy, and it was really fun to be able to get him on camera and to tell the people how much they meant to him. Okay, look at this body language here. Wade Davis is pretty good at it. There you go, atta baby. Miguel saying, get down. He's saying, get down. What is he saying, get up? Believe it, everybody's on it.
You know, guys, watching Miguel Cabrera down there when I came on the air with you guys in the first inning, so I was really close to him when he was at first base, and he is in to every single pitch. He's standing there on first base. Prince Fielder is up, and he is clapping and saying, attaboy, attaboy, after every ball that he took. Then he'll turn over, make some faces at some of the guys in the Royals dugout, then cheer on Fielder, then lock into the play. I mean, he is into every single moment of the game.
0-2 on Victor Martinez.
And I asked him too, because he mentioned fun. And then I asked him, can you have fun when you lose too? He answered that. Maybe we can get a soundbite of what he said about that. Because, you know, it's fun. It's fun at the ballpark. I mean, you know, you like coming to the yard. But you're paid to win. When you're winning, like the Royals are, they're having fun. So are the Detroit Tigers.
And a lot of kids from Latin America, I mean, they truly love the game. Not going to say more so than American kids or kids from other countries, but I mean, for them, I mean, it is year-round. I think most American-born players, and you can't blame them for it, as Alex will make the play on Victor Martinez. But you can't blame him for it. I mean, it's a long season. It can be a grueling season. When the season's over, these guys make enough money now where they just want to go home and relax and spend some time with their family and let their body heal and prepare for the next year. But in Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, places like that, they just keep on playing.
They do.
And Peralta hits it to center field. Cain back. He makes the play. 7 pitches for Wade Davis. He has retired the last 6 and has done so with just 16 pitches. Royals baseball is brought to you by Panera Bread. Try pasta the Panera way. Live consciously, eat deliciously. By Steel, available exclusively at a servicing Steel dealer. Visit steeldealers.com. And by Ford, see the new F-150 at your Midwest Ford dealer today. Up into the 90s today in Kansas City. Same tomorrow for the afternoon game. 1-0 Tigers on a base hit from Don Kelly back in the second inning. Royals are hitless so far against Max Scherzer. Scherzer worked around a couple of walks in the first inning, and now he's retired 7 in a row. 0-2 against Salvador Perez. Perez flied to left in the first inning. One ball, 2 strikes.
In talking with Alex Avila about his hitting, I said, you're catching Scherzer. What word would you use to describe him? I kind of threw a couple of mine out there, and I said, beast? Is he a beast? He said, no, you know what? I'm gonna use a word that they used to use in the day. He's a bulldog. He comes at you. He's strong. He's strong. He comes right at you. So the bulldog was his word for Scherzer.
Back to the screen. He has been on a great run the past 3 years. We're going to show you some numbers. Take a while to digest all these numbers, but it's interesting if you look at his first 3 years. He had a losing record, a good ERA. But look at that third column, because in his previous 3 years, 31-16 with a higher ERA and tremendous run support. That run support is closer to 8 this year, but almost 6.5 runs of support for Max Scherzer over his past 3 seasons.
Yeah, and that's working for him in the win column. Okay, it only involves the record when we're talking about run support, but the overall body of work has been good. He doesn't back down. He comes at hitters. He pitches with conviction.
Two and two. Scherzer is trying tonight to become the first Tigers starter to begin the season 9-0 since 1938. Just inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Vern Kennedy went 9-0 for the Tigers in 1938. You remember Vern Kennedy, don't you, Hud?
I've heard of the name, but we're not personal friends.
Peralta backhands, throws a strike to Fielder, and there's 1 down in the 4th. Oh, don't forget, every Wednesday is Student Night and Local Music Showcase. Just show your valid student ID at the box office. You'll get a $7 ticket. And make sure to get here early for drink specials and live local music in the outfield experience before the game. Student Night tomorrow is Student Day for the afternoon game with the Tigers at 1:10, featuring the band Rev Gusto. Royals.com/Student Night for tickets. Changeup for a strike to Billy Butler. Billy walked in the first inning. As you pointed out, Hud, you got to get to these guys early, and Scherzer didn't seem right in the first. He threw 26 pitches. He walked 2. His pitching coach, Jeff Jones, was concerned enough to go out and have a visit with him. He got out of that and is now retired 8 straight.
There you go. Good example. You got to get these guys before they settle down if you're going to get a starter. If you get a guy cruising like this, at least take some pitches, foul some off if you can, and get the pitch count up to get him out. 63 pitches. That's a lot of pitches thrown so far. 62. Excuse me. Well, 63 counting that last pitch here. A nasty one. You see the arm angle? Very tough on righties. But he's tough on lefties. I gave you the splits earlier. 174 to righties, 191 to lefties. No one's hitting. we talk about stuff. We talk about movement. Stuff is you know what the guy. How does the ball move? Check out this last pitch to Billy. Look at how that ball. Look at the vertical break of that. 6 inches down. That's a lot. If it breaks an inch or two, that's enough to get a guy to foul off.
That's a question that fans ask very often. Well, if a guy has good stuff, how come he isn't successful? Stuff refers to velocity and movement. It does not include control, command, knowledge of pitching. It's basically just looking at a guy pitching off the mound, maybe not even to a hitter. What's the velocity? What's the movement like?
Well, ask that fan there about the velocity on the ball coming off of Lorenzo Cain's bat. He'll tell you. Now, he stayed with it. He clanked it, but he didn't have a glove, and he made a quick recovery and got the ball. Nice attempt on the liner.
He's got a nasty slider tonight. Scherzer has struck out 4, and now he has retired 10 straight. 1-0 Detroit.
Mazda Game Break takes us to Baltimore. J.J. Hardy, deep center field. Jason Vargas didn't look like he liked it, but he had to like that. Peter Borges. And J.J. Hardy has to be thinking, what's with these L.A. outfielders? Same guy at the plate last year when Mike Trout robbed him in a similar catch. I don't know, guys. What one was better? I'm going Trout.
I'm going to go Trout also.
Yeah, you know, even though Borges made that look gorgeous, I'm going with a degree of difficulty with Trout. That was a little bit tougher on the rib cage. It's our producer.
How was that again?
That's our producer Joe Libero's favorite word, gorgeous.
That's right.
Wow. You going to pull him out from under the bus while you're at it?
Nah, he's already been run over several times. He knows what that feels like. We've all been run over. But, you know, Wade Davis, he's got to be pretty pleased with what he's doing so far. He just 1 run on 5 hits. Hitting his spots. Salvador Perez is guiding him.
Very good pitch count. This is his 58th pitch. 2-1 on Alex Avila. Avila struck out in the 2nd inning. Davis has struck out 2. He's retired the last 6. Tiger run coming in the 2nd inning on a 2-out base hit from Don Kelly that scored Victor Martinez. And now it's 3-1 on Avila. Wade Davis in his last start threw 107 pitches in 5 innings. And came out mostly because of his pitch count, not because he was performing poorly, but Ned Yost felt like he had run out of pitches, and he has made the adjustment so far tonight. Avila was on his way to first. Instead, that is strike 2 and a full count. Omar Infante next, followed by Don Kelly. And comes back to strike him out. And strike him out for the second time. And now 3 for Wade Davis. 1 down in the 5th. And we take a look at tonight's Toyota League leaders. Top intra-divisional records. Oakland so good against the West last year, the same this year. Boston, the Royals, and the Tigers. The Royals have actually played better within the Central than the Tigers have as far as winning percentage goes. And they are 2-1 so far this year against Detroit. Base hit past Moustakas, and Omar Infante is 2 for 2. That was a statistic that didn't carry as much weight as it does today with the unbalanced schedule. Back when there was the balanced schedule and you played every team twice at home and twice on the road, but now with so many games within the division, that is a very important record.
It is. Good attempt by Moose.
And here's Don Kelly. Down in the count 1-2 when he batted in the second and went the other way and singled up the left field line, scoring Martinez. And on the same play, Omar Infante tried to score from first. And Alex Gordon, with the help of Mike Moustakas, gunned down Infante at the plate. Infante is running. One hop to David Lowe. His play will be to second base. And the Tigers have runners at the corners with 1 down. And now the number 8 and number 9 hitters are a combined 4 for 4.
Those are the guys that you'd hope to try to keep off the base before the meat of the order comes up. That's a good hit and run. Now, when you're running on a hit and run like this, and you see that ball going up, you know, you just keep going. Okay, keep going. If the guy catches it, okay, he doubles you up. But you take that chance. And that was a good read by Infante. You know, Chris Getz, tried to, give him a little body language, and we call it a deke. He tried to deke him. You see Getz, he's trying to make it look like he's got the ball to get him to slide and not go to third base. But Infante, he picked the ball up on contact and he saw it. But you don't stop, you just keep going.
Ball 1 to Andy Dirks, who is singled and fouled out to Mike Moustakas, who made a nice running play. Kickoff play at third, but Infante saw that coming and was able to get back 2-0.
And Alex Gordon in left field broke hard to back him up. Watch him way up the top of your screen. You see Gordon going over there. He's heads up in case the ball gets by him.
On the ground to Getz. Going to have to hurry. Out at second. And a no double play. Looked like they had him, and the Royals were starting to run off the field. They thought they had Dirks, and his hustle gives the Tigers a 2-0 lead as Infante scores from third.
Okay, it was a high chopper, so it had to be perfect. Good hard feed by Getzy. Escobar's got one of the best arms ever. Ooh, man, that's close.
One of the first things we learn in Little League is, well, I was going to say, a tie goes to the runner. It looked like they might have had him.
By a gnat's eyelash.
Ball 1 to Torrey Hunter. That is RBI number 20 for Andy Dirks. Hunter has flied to right and struck out swinging. He is one of the best in the major leagues hitting with 2 outs. I think the Angels would like to have him back right now.
Yeah, Torrey is a very, very level-headed guy, understands the game. There was a few things that were said when he left there that, weren't really bad, but he said that ownership there told him they didn't have the resources to re-sign him. They went out and got Hamilton.
So for a lot more money.
Yeah, so he felt like they weren't being completely honest with him. And then when they made their trip to Anaheim, he was out at a restaurant and he saw the owner, and the owner said, "Hey, look, I made a mistake. We should have kept you." So I said, Torrey had a nice little conversation. Just ran into him kind of casually, and there's not. It takes a lot for you to say you made a mistake. But what he provided offensively was one thing, but what he provided in the clubhouse is an entirely different other subject, which is off the charts. His makeup is wonderful. He's a mentor. He's a clubhouse leader, on the field and off. He mentors guys from other teams. We talked about it last night, how he mentored Lorenzo Cain.
Adam Jones.
Over the phone, texting. Encouragement. This guy is a quality person.
Nice pitch by Davis to strike out Hunter for a second time. The Tigers avoid a double play and score their second run to take a 2-0 lead. Royals players at the stadium during an off day on June 20th for the Royals Charities Diamond of Dreams. This on-field event benefits the University of Kansas Hospital's neonatal medical home as well as Royals Charities. You'll enjoy a VIP party, food from local restaurants, live music, a spectacular fireworks display, and an exclusive silent auction featuring baseball's biggest moments. And we're just showing you some of the items that are up for auction. You saw the Hank Aaron autographed jersey. There's the Jackie Robinson framed item that we talked about last night, a signed index card, an officially signed index card of Jackie Robinson commemorating his breaking of the color barrier in 1947, and as well as a movie poster of the movie 42. 1975, Hank Aaron becomes the all-time home run king with a home run against the Dodgers, an autographed 1974 Atlanta Braves jersey. David Lowe, deep right field. Hunter to the wall, and David Lowe has his first major league home run.
Touch them all, David. Join Salvador Perez as Salvi hit his first career home run off of Scherzer, and so does Lowe. Breaks up the no-hitter and the shutout in one swing. And how about that? Hardly any time at all the fan gets a picture with a souvenir. I'm sure that ball will find its way back to David Lowe.
And now Mike Moustakas goes the other way. Dirks will cut it off deep. Moustakas thought about two. He'll hold with a single. So the Royals had gone 4 hitless innings. Scherzer had retired 10 in a row and 12 out of 13 coming into this inning. And now David Lowe homers. Mike Moustakas singles. And just like that, the go-ahead run is at the plate with nobody out.
Nice, easy swing. David Lowe, he'll tell you he didn't mean to do it, but he caught the ball with some back underspin, and it gets over Torrey Hunter's head, and that was beautiful.
Inside, ball 1-2. Chris Getz
Gets to celebrate his first home run. Now, that fan that had that ball, I'm sure that they'll, say, hey, sir, that's important for this kid's family.
And he better start thinking about what he wants, that fan.
Yeah, you can negotiate.
This is America, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It's his ball. Okay, now, looks like he's bartering with the guy there, too. He's saying, hey, well, how much you going to give me?
He's saying there, I got to get going in about 5 minutes here, so you better come up with whatever it is you want to offer quickly. As Getz thought about bunting, 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's a significant in itself, just to hit a home run in the big leagues. How many millions of men would like to do that? Okay, but number 2, Scherzer had a no-hitter going in a shutout. So he has something to brag on extra by just saying he hit his first home run, but it was an important part of the game.
Scherzer taking too much time. Chris Getz is granted timeout. Getz flied to right first time up.
Don't go home with that ball, sir. Please.
Getz lays the bunt down. Didn't hit it hard enough and pies Scherzer for a base hit, but he will get the sacrifice and move Moustakas up to second base. Second straight game that Getz has had a sacrifice bunt.
Okay, where's the ball? Is it in her purse? All right, let's check another swing here. Let's see how perfect this home run swing was. First time in his career. Okay, nice stride. Okay, head's moving a little bit forward, but man, he stops it really good right there. And look at that. I love the balance. See, everything's about balance. And he catches it out in front to pull it. Up underneath it.
It's a very confident walk in this direction, is it not, Hud?
It is, but he's got the ball. We need the ball.
Escobar left field. That is down. And that will tie the game. And now Escobar trying for 2, and he is out. But he ties the game with a single, driving in Mike Moustakas. And after going 4 innings without a base hit, the Royals have a home run, 3 hits total, and 2 runs in the 5th inning.
So now that's why you hear people in baseball say everything's contagious. Hitting is too. That's a good example of this inning here. Scherzer cruising, just has everything going, and then David Lowe, out of anybody in the lineup, you wouldn't expect. Look at his pick. That pick by Infante was beautiful. He picked it out of the dirt and put the tag on him. Escobar, he thought he got away from the tag on the slide.
And And Alex pops it up to the left side. Dirks comes up, and he will make the play. The Royals tie the game. That gentleman is headed toward the Royals clubhouse with David Lowe's first home run ball. Alcides Escobar drives in a run, and the Royals tie it in the 5th. And the Royals follow that with 2 more hits, and they tie the game against Max Scherzer in the bottom of the 5th. So 2-2 to the 6th inning. And Wade Davis will pitch to the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. He throws a strike to Miguel Cabrera. And last night, Jeremy Guthrie in the Royals bullpen held those 3 hitters to a combined 1 for 12. 1-1. Cabrera singled in the 1st inning and grounded out to short in the 3rd.
You know how great it is to see him lead off an inning.
Good pitch over the outside. 1-2.
Because when runners get out there, they don't even have to be in scoring position. He finds a way to get it done.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Wade Davis has given up 2 runs, 7 hits, no walks, and he has struck out 4. Just missed outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
There's just some 95. The 77th pitch. Ooh, just off.
Fouls the breaking ball away. Cabrera leads the league in batting average, leads the league in RBIs. He is the best hitter with runners in scoring position. He leads the league in runs scored, in hits, in intentional walks, and he is 2nd in home runs. And a good fastball at 95, and Cabrera just got a piece of it. Still 3-2. You know, and what was kind of lost last year with the Triple Crown is that he was playing somewhat of a new position. Now, he'd played third base with the Marlins before, but it had been a long time since he played third and didn't allow that to become a distraction. Hosmer and Lowe running over to the tarp, and that's back into the crowd. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And you say, well, how does one affect the other? Well, the more a player is at ease. If he's at ease defensively, it might help him be at ease at the plate. If he's hitting well, it helps him play with ease on defense. Well, he had to move back to third for the first time in several years, and it didn't affect his hitting at all.
And it didn't help matters that in spring training that year, he's coming back to play. He gets a bad hop in a spring training field and hit him in the eye. A bad hop in spring training. Jumped up and hit him right below the right eye. And it cut him. He had to get stitches. He didn't go after that. Was jittery and was afraid to field the ball. He's a pro. He took it and went on.
It's a 10-pitch at bat.
You get in a 10-pitch at bat with a lesser hitter, you still like your chances. But when you start piling up that many pitches on Cabrera, he's just waiting. Just like that guy there.
Your thoughts?
He's puppet.
And he's fouled off 6 in a row.
It's a good pitch. He wasn't comfortable with that one. Is it that bright out here?
Apparently it is. He's in the first row. Cabrera walks after 12 pitches, which may have not been the worst thing for Wade Davis. So leadoff man on as we revisit our Sprint Unlimited Answers poll. 58% say no. Miguel Cabrera will not break Hack Wilson's record of 191 RBIs back in 1930.
Thank you for your vote.
Fouled away by Prince Fielder.
So when you have protection behind you like Prince Fielder, and then you put Victor Martinez behind Fielder, that makes that pitcher say, you know what, I got to be a little careful here, and I got to be careful here. If I can't pitch around any of these guys because they're all good hitters, and Victor's a switch hitter. Take your chances on a ball down low. He hits into a double play.
Good changeup. 0-2. Davis, similar to his teammate in Tampa Bay, James Shields, where his changeup is what is referred to as a power changeup. Some pitchers will say they want their fastball and changeup to be separated by 10 to 12 miles per hour. Well, Shields and Davis separated more by 5 to 7 miles an hour. So a changeup, but a hard changeup as Fielder goes the other way. Alex at the warning track to make the catch. And Cabrera hustles back to first. And that is out number 1.
Salvi wanted that in, so he missed, but he missed on the outer half, which wasn't a bad miss. Yeah, exhale. All right. Now reload for this guy here. Victor Martinez. Left-handed, Victor's hitting 242. Right-handed, 229. Overall, 240. Missed the entire year last year.
Back to Davis. Out at second. Double play. Second double play turned by the Royals. Wade Davis has gone 6. He's given up just 2 runs, and we are tied.
Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg here, and we have found it. We tracked down the baseball, have it right here, and it will be going, of course, to David Lowe. This one was not difficult, but guys, I had a front row seat. I got right in there to listen to the negotiations. The man that caught that ball is basically just known as Coach, and that's because he has been a long-time coach. His name is Ken Johns, and he actually was trying out way back when in the Hank Stram years for the Chiefs and was the last linebacker cut. Went on to coach many, many, many sports, including football and baseball and softball. And the tryout was back in 1964. The grandkids call him Papa Coach. And the negotiations went pretty easy. He said, I got to get out of here and get to a 15-year-old baseball game. They said, the Royals will call you tomorrow. And he said, here, I want him to have the ball. Just call me. Everything will be okay. Then he talked about maybe we can come to the game, later this week, maybe tomorrow. And his wife said, I think that's our anniversary. But the anniversary, their 49th, and his wife Judy is the day after tomorrow. So maybe the Johns family will be back here tomorrow collecting whatever it is that the Royals give them.
Attaway, Coach. As Hosmer is out on a running play by Andy Dirks. One down in the 6th inning. Well, if he's a coach, then he understands how important that ball is to David Lowe.
Great job, Joel. Way to be on the beat. Way to get the scoop.
Our Sonic Slam inning contestant is Larry Burns from Overland Park, Kansas. And if the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Larry wins $2,600. Grand Slam out of the park. It's worth $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Ball 1-2, Salvador Perez. Sal is flied to left and grounded out to short. Oh, 2.
Oh, man, that's a tough pitch to try to hit. That is the lower extremity of the strike zone.
Fouled it off of his foot. Still 0-2. Max Scherzer opened the game with 4 hitless innings. He walked 2 in the first and then went on to retire 10 in a row, 12 of 13. And then David Lowe greeted him with that home run in the 5th inning. Mike Moustakas singled. Chris Getz bunted Moustakas to second, and Alcides Escobar drove in Moustakas.
It's taken Salvi a little bit of time to try to walk that off. That hurt. That got all foot.
And to center field. Kelly started in, now goes back a few steps, and he makes a catch for the second out. Max Scherzer apparently has changed his jersey tonight. First one did not have the Sparky Anderson patch. That's fairly common on a night like tonight when it becomes hot and humid for guys to go in there and change their shirt, maybe change the undergarments under their pants.
It is.
But a completely, I don't want to say different style jersey, but one that had a patch from last year.
He's got a chance.
Torrey Hunter plays it off the barrier wall, foul.
Well, that Sparky jersey was from last season with the Sparky patch on it.
Won a World Series with the Tigers in 1984 when they defeated the San Diego Padres. Also a World Series winning manager with the Cincinnati Reds. And you followed him as a broadcaster with the Angels, correct?
Yes. He got to where he didn't, care about traveling anymore. He was ready to kind of shut it down.
I'm guessing that wasn't a big difference in style of broadcasting, was it? Sparky Anderson to Rex Hudler? A bit of it was culture shock for Angel fans.
It's the same as it was for the Kansas City fans last year. Slightly different.
2-2.
That ball Billy hit down the right field line. That had a chance to hit that foul ball, and it just barely went foul.
Three balls, two strikes. I remember Sparky Anderson doing Angel games with Steve Physiak before you joined the Angels, and he would sit in the booth and he'd have his pipe, smoking on his pipe, and I don't think he kept score. I think he just sat up there and told stories, and just analyzed the game.
Yeah, no, he didn't keep score, didn't have any notes or any. He was a baseball broadcaster. Color, he's a man, he's a great man, a Hall of Famer.
Cabrera throws out Billy Butler to end the inning. Royals down in order against Scherzer. And at the end of 6, the Royals and Tigers are tied at 2. By Thoroughbred Ford. For the best deals on new Ford cars and trucks, visit thoroughbredford.com. Gorgeous night in Kansas City.
Great word. Perfect word.
0-1 on Johnny Peralta. David Lowe hit his first major league home run. Leading off the bottom of the 5th. Royals added another run to tie the game. The Tigers had led 2-0 going into the bottom of the 5th, and Max Scherzer had not allowed a hit. And now our focus back on Wade Davis and his effort tonight. He has gone 6 innings for just the 4th time this year. He really fooled Peralta with that pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And now Wade setting his sights on going 7. He has done that once. Just a little bit high and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tim Collins pitched 2/3 of an inning last night, warming up behind Wade Davis, who is delivering his 93rd pitch. And he strikes out Peralta. 5 strikeouts for Davis. 1 down in the 7th.
He's looking really good. He's mixing, but he's locating. He's putting the ball where he wants it tonight.
And we look at tonight's AT&T trivia question. Who was the only player to win the MVP the year after winning the Triple Crown? One player won the MVP 1 year after winning the Triple Crown.
Frank Robinson.
Pulled foul by Alex Avila. He has struck out twice against Wade Davis.
There's not too many guys that won the Triple Crown. Ted Williams.
1-1 on Avila. Last year, Cabrera, his Triple Crown was the 14th in history, not the 14th different player, because there are some who had more than one, but it was the 14th Triple Crown in Major League history. Hosmer, sliding play, and connects with Davis for the second out.
Okay, Hosmer, he's very sure whenever he dives to his right. He doesn't miss. Rarely when he dives, he makes that play all the time. Good feet.
Ball 1 to Omar Infante. So Davis 1 out away from going 7 innings for the second time. The first time was the result of his best start of the year. That was April 17th in Atlanta when he pitched 7 scoreless innings with no walks and 7 strikeouts, and the Royals beat the Braves 1-0. And now trying to go 7 innings again tonight against another first place team. He gave up 1 run in the second, 1 in the fifth. The Royals tied it for him in the bottom of the fifth. Infante shoots it into center field. He has a 2-out single. He is 3 for 3, and now the number 8 and number 9 hitters for the Tigers are a combined 5 for 5. So at 100 pitches, Ned Yost says that's enough. Don Kelly, who has 2 hits against Wade Davis, will be facing Tim Collins. So an excellent job turned in by Wade Davis. The fans appreciate it as they come to their feet. And Tim Collins is a Chevy call to the bullpen. Davis's effort tonight in our AT&T Uverse Rewind.
His command was everything. He was hitting his spots. Look where Salvador's setting up. Salvi just sat back in a rocket chair tonight. Wade Davis was on top of his game. Great to see a start like that in a game of this magnitude. Trying to get a series tonight with a win. Super job, Wade.
1 walk, 2 earned runs in 6 2/3. And now the Tigers make a move. Ned Yost brings on a lefty, Tim Collins. Jim Leland sends out a right-hand batter, Abisail Garcia, who started in center field last night and was 1 for 4. That did not include an at-bat against Tim Collins. Collins pitched 2/3 scoreless last night, retiring Fielder and Martinez. And Collins is ahead 0-2.
Okay, he's got a really nice straight changeup that he uses on righties and lefties. Big overhand curve, low to mid-90s fastball.
Up the middle and past Escobar, so down in the count. Garcia singles, and Infante goes first to third.
First pinch hit of the year for him. He's 1 for 2 now. Okay, he went with the fastball in on his hands. He's able to stay inside the baseball, directed up the middle. So Jim Leland's not done bringing out his pinch hitters.
So another left-hand batter was scheduled to hit, Andy Dirks. And instead it'll be Matt Tuiasosopo. Royals have seen him in the past with the Seattle Mariners, and he's done a nice job for the Tigers coming off the bench, hitting at .339 with 14 RBIs in just 32 games.
But as a pinch hitter, he's 2 for 9 with a pinch hit home run, 4 RBIs. He's got some pop.
Crow appears to be ready to go in the bullpen. We remind you to vote for the Royals Player of the Month, sponsored by Majestic and Rally House. Vote at Rally House stores and get a chance to go on field and meet the winning player. So Collins will stay in there to face Tuiasosopo. Takes inside, ball 1.
Collins has given up a .237 average to right-handed batters this year. No homers.
And now 2 balls, no strikes.
Looked like a pretty good pitch there. Covered the plate. A little bit of some pretty good movement.
And now 3 balls, no strikes. Tuiasosopo, that is a rare name, and football fans might remember his brother Marcus, who played football at the University of Washington and then with the Oakland Raiders. His father played in the NFL with Seattle and San Francisco. 3-1. Manu Tuiasosopo.
And Matt's a big league baseball player. A lot of talent in that family.
He will take a walk. So a 2 outs and nobody on, a single. Another single and a walk to load him up, and Torrey Hunter coming up, and Ned Yost is going to bring on Aaron Crow for a second straight night to face Torrey Hunter. So another Chevy call to the bullpen. Royals and Tigers tied at 2 in the 7th inning. Ned Yost brought on Aaron Crow with 2 on and 1 out.
Yeah, and he was able to get the job done. He goes hard, sets up that slider with that hard fastball mid-90s. You know, I think the fastball's got to be his best pitch, but the slider is definitely his out pitch. And when he got Cabrera, he showed some rare emotion. That was a passionate game, and really, that strikeout almost, you can say, he won the game for him. Big situation there.
And now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Infante, Garcia, and Tuiasa Sopo on the bases. And Torrey Hunter, and we mentioned earlier, he is one of the best in the league with 2 outs, and that is just foul.
Yep, he's 2 for 4 this year with them loaded up.
He is 0 for 5 against Aaron Crow. And last night was the first time he put the ball in play. Aaron struck him out in their first 4 meetings.
Yeah, that was a slider that Hunter just missed.
Fouled it away, 1-2.
Torrey Hunter has a lot of aunts and uncles that live in the Kansas City area. He told me today he had 24 passes. And they just keep coming, he said. It's all right. Fans are trying to help Aaron Crow.
Torrey grew up in Arkansas, but spent many summers here in Kansas City going to Worlds of Fun and Kauffman Stadium. Struck him out. So Torrey Hunter is 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts against Aaron Crow, who gets the job done in the 7th inning again.
Nesting on the outer half. Hunter's got to go.
Brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. And by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Tied at 2. Great night to be at the ballpark. And a very good game. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Matt Tuiasa Sopo, who batted for Andy Dirks, will stay in left. And Abisail Garcia, he batted for Don Kelly. He'll stay in the game in center field. And Max Scherzer, which is 90 pitches, will stay on the mound in the bottom of the 7th inning, trying to go at least 7 for the 9th time this year. Giving up 2 runs, 3 hits in 6 innings. That includes beginning the game with 4 hitless innings. And he starts Lorenzo Cain off with a strike. Lorenzo has struck out and grounded into a fielder's choice. Kane, Lowe, and Moustakas coming up. Shallow center field. Garcia sprinting in, and he makes a play. And very similar to Miguel Cabrera, Garcia is big but very athletic. And Kane is out, number 1. Take a look at the radar gun, our Time Warner pitch speed comparison. Wade Davis up to 94, Max Scherzer 96. Scherzer has struck out 4. Make that 5. And Wade Davis struck out 5. Swung on and missed by David Lowe, who hit his first major league home run leading off the 5th inning.
Got things started.
One ball, 1 strike. That was the first hit for the Royals after 4 hitless innings. The Royals had 2 base runners in the first on walks, and then Scherzer had retired 10 in a row when Lowe led off the 5th with a home run to right field. Outside, 2-1.
Then Moose chipped in with a single, and Escobar drove him in.
Popped up. Another long run in for Garcia, and he is there for the out. Final game of the series is tomorrow. It's the makeup for school day at DeKay. This is the most fun-filled educational day at the ballpark for the kids. Due to the rainout last month, summer school day is now tomorrow. So take a field trip. The kids will learn about weather with meteorologist Mike Thompson and the Fox 4 weather team. Those demonstrations will start at 10 a.m. with the game beginning at 1:10 with the Tigers.
Shields and Verlander, it's going to be a beauty. Businessman special, come on out.
It is not televised tomorrow, not part of our original television package, so come on out. Fouled away by Moustakas. There's Justin Verlander, and this is the second time that Shields and Verlander have matched up. First time was in April. The Royals won that game 8-3, scoring 5 runs in the 10th inning on a bases loaded walk, and then Alex Gordon's first major league grand slam. That was against the Tiger bullpen. 8-4, 3.71 ERA. Fouled away again.
Okay, Moose's base hit up the middle last night was a real short to the ball swing. And then the hit earlier tonight, he hit it out to left center field. That's what he needs to keep doing. Just things like that. And then the big one will come when it's ready, but he's got to get that average up with some confidence.
He did not swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, Hud, as we were showing Justin Verlander, it reminded me that Verlander has not pitched well here his last 2 starts. He got knocked around in the All-Star game by the National League. And then against the Royals on August 28th, the Royals scored 7 runs against him in the first 2 innings. And ended up scoring 8 total. Moustakas strikes out. That is 6 for Scherzer. And we head to the 8th inning in a 2-2 tie.
Pacing the Orioles to victory. Tampa Bay all over Boston, and Desmond Jennings a pair of homers. Cleveland out big right now in front of Texas 5-0. Chicago leading 5-4 against Toronto. Philadelphia and Minnesota tied in the 8th. New York and Oakland just underway, and the Yankees already threatening with the bases loaded in that game. Guys, should point out to you some good and bad news, I guess, from a pitching standpoint. AAA, Yordano Ventura, 4 2/3, 5 earned runs. But in AA, first rehab start for Felipe Paulino tonight. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 67 pitches thrown. He had a no-hitter actually going through 4 innings.
That is nice to hear that. I was waiting on the strikeout count because he's a power guy. Fastball must be moving.
Crow will get Cabrera, Fielder, and Martinez to begin the 8th inning. And Cabrera is hit by a pitch, by a breaking ball that stayed in, and Cabrera's on for the 3rd time.
Okay, let's see. Well, that definitely got away from him. He wasn't trying to do that. And it looked like it hit him right off the end of his pinky or the palm of his hand. Could have even caught a little of the bat. You never know.
Just to add to Joel's point, when Felipe Paulino went down last year, he was pitching very well. His ERA was 1.67. His record was 3-1. So Paulino, who came up very slowly through the Astros organization, always had the big arm, looked like he was really putting it together, becoming a better than solid, a good major league starter, and then the elbow gave out. 2-0 on Prince Fielder.
Yeah, but the good news is that surgery nowadays, those Tommy Johns, they make you better. You just got to wait a year, and he's they're going to have some interesting decisions to make coming up in the future, but they're good decisions.
There's another guy out of the Astros organization, J.C. Gutierrez, who has come back from Tommy John surgery. As Fielder fouls it at the plate, 2 balls, 1 strike. Doesn't seem that long ago that we'd make a big deal about somebody coming back from Tommy John surgery. Can you believe it? They take a ligament or a tendon from another part of the body and they transplant it in the elbow, and the guy can come back and pitch. Well, now it's a bigger deal when they don't come back from it than when they do come back from it.
You're right. The success rate's got to be in the 90s, huh? 90 percentile, at least.
That is high. 3-1 on Fielder, so a very dangerous pitch upcoming. Boy, he had a rip. Aaron Crow said, "Here it is, buddy." 96 miles an hour, and Fielder had a good swing, just didn't square it up.
With Aaron Crow, he's basically a 2-pitch guy. So when you have to go through the lineup and you got multiple innings, sometimes the hitters, they pretty much know what's coming, either one or the other. So he's got to be really good with his location.
Cabrera runs as Fielder fouls it away. Cabrera has a couple of stolen bases, but certainly not a burner. So best case scenario here would be Aaron Crow snaps off one of his best sliders, and the Royals get a strikeout, throw out, double play. They have already turned 2 double plays tonight. One of those against Fielder back in the 1st inning when he batted with 2 on, 1 out against Wade Davis. Cabrera running again and fouled away. A close game between the Royals and the Tigers. What else is new? They played 18 times last year. 14 of those 18 games were decided by 2 runs or less, and 10 of the 18 were decided by 1 run. And last night was a 1-run game. Running and a line drive into right field. David Lowe plays it on a bounce, and Cabrera will go to third, and the Tigers have runners at the corners with nobody out.
Okay, when you know what's coming, you have a pretty good idea. Hitters are going to square it up more times than not, especially when you're in the middle of that order and you're as good as fielder. So even though the ball was down, it kept it in the yard, but still there's nobody out first and third with Victor Martinez coming up. Still needs a strikeout, a double play ball, get out of this one.
Prince Fielder in the top 3 as far as major leaguers consistently hitting the ball hard.
I would say. I mean, he doesn't matter either. Lefties, he's got a great average against lefties. It's over 350. No matter who. If it's over that 17-inch dish, it's going to get hit.
Not to be confused with
11 inches?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's not fair to the pitcher.
And that's line to left field. Alex makes the play. Cabrera to the plate. And the throw is offline. The Tigers take a 3-2 lead. So the hit batter, which is similar to a walk, late innings, tie game to begin the inning, as it so often does, turns into a run.
Gordon, he was too deep, but had he made an accurate throw, it would have been close. I'll tell you, his strong arm.
31st RBI for Victor Martinez. And that ball gets through Perez, who guns it down to second, and moving up his fielder, who almost went over the bag. Pitch was swung on and missed by Peralta and somehow got through Salvador Perez. It hit the dirt, so it's ruled a wild pitch.
Look at Salvador, though. He still thought he could throw out the fielder. I love that energy.
Pitch dips low. Fouled away by Peralta. That run scored by Cabrera gives him 91 runs scored this year. That leads the American League. Take that back. 91st hit, 51st run. Both lead the American League. That is 51st hit. Or 91st hit bat. Let me get this squared away here.
It's okay.
91 hits. He got the hit in the first. 51 runs. He got that here in the 8th.
Okay.
All clear?
Set.
And speaking of league leading, no shortstop in the American League has more hits than Johnny Peralta. And he will fly out to Lorenzo Cain, and 2 down in the 8th. And Peralta is 0 for 4. Tonight's AT&T trivia question: who is the only player to win the MVP the year after winning the Triple Crown? You said Frank Robinson.
Yeah, how about Rogers Hornsby? Going way back to 1925. How about Jimmy Fox, Mickey Mantle? That'll work. Yeah, we waving the white flag. You got us.
And there you have it.
It's very possible that Miguel Cabrera could be the second.
he would be if the season ended today.
Sure would.
And in winning the Triple Crown last year, it was also his second consecutive batting title. So he's won 2 straight batting titles, and he has a huge lead in batting average in the league. To this point, he's hitting .363. The next closest is his teammate Johnny Peralta, who was hitting .339 and now is at .333. You're talking about, depending on how other guys in the league did tonight, about a 30-point gap between the leading hitter and the number 2 hitter. That is too low. 3 balls and no strikes. J.C. Gutierrez has been warming up all inning. Aaron Crow came on last inning to face Torrey Hunter with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and struck him out. But he hit Cabrera with a pitch, gave up a single to Prince Fielder after a sac fly and a fly out. Now he walks Avila, and there are 2 on with 2 out, and another trip to the mound for Ned Yost. So it'll be J.C. Gutierrez on to face Omar Infante. Tigers have taken the lead in the 8th inning, 3-2. Father's Day, give your father the George Brett Friday 5-pack. You can watch the boys in blue at Kauffman Stadium for 5 select Friday home games starting at just $55, and you can get your Brett Friday 5-pack for Father's Day at Royals.com/Friday 5-pack or by calling 1-800-6-ROYALS. And for the Royals in this inning, J.C. Gutierrez replaces Aaron Crow, and a very impressive streak has come to an end with the Tigers scoring against the Royals bullpen. Royals bullpen had pitched 20 2/3 innings without allowing an earned run before Cabrera scored in this inning, and they had gone 9 1/3 scoreless innings against Detroit this year before Cabrera scored. So now Gutierrez with Fielder at second, Avila at first, and 2 down, and pitching to Omar Infante, the number 8 hitter, who is 3 for 3. The Tigers have 10 hits, and 6 of those hits have come from the number 8 hitter, Infante, and 2 number 9 hitters, Don Kelly and Abisail Garcia.
That'll work. JC's got that big power, mid-90s fastball. Good big slider.
Wade Davis went 6 2/3. Tim Collins faced 2 batters in the 7th. And then Aaron Crow got the final out with a strikeout. Crow started this inning. Got 2 outs, allowed the run. He leaves behind 2, and now it's 3-0 from Gutierrez to Infante. And on the other side, we just showed you Max Scherzer. He's pretty much been the story for the Tigers as he's gone all 7. And he has given up 2 runs on just 3 hits. Three and 1. Full count. And now Fielder and Avila will be running.
Same thing. You got a fastball that good, you just challenge it. Go right after it.
Shallow right center field. Kane is there. Lowe is there. And Lorenzo Kane makes the play to end the inning. A hit batter to begin the 8th. Turns into a run. Royals down 3-2 coming up in the bottom of the 8th.
Game break takes us to Tampa Bay, where the Royals will head after their game tomorrow. The Rays have been playing well, and this right here is an Evan Longoria home run. Desmond Jennings had a pair in that game, too, as they rough up on the contest lefty John Lester for 7 runs. His ERA now is over 4. After this game, Jeff Montgomery and I will be breaking down the action on Boulevard Royals Live. We'll talk about David Lowe's first major league home run and hopefully another productive 8th inning for the Royals. That reaction and more coming up after the game. Ryan?
All right, thank you, Joel. It's Joaquin Benoit taking over in the bottom of the 8th inning. Good numbers. 2 ERA and an opponent's batting average of only 200.
Yep, he's tough. He's got some pitches, mid-90s fastball, slider, and an excellent changeup.
So by scoring a run in the top of the 8th, Max Scherzer has a chance to improve to 9-0 if the Tiger bullpen can hold it. Royals, of course, have other plans. They have Getz, Escobar, and Gordon here in the 8th. Scherzer retired the final 7 Royals. And really only had 1 bad inning. He had retired 10 in a row when David Lowe homered, leading off the 5th, his first major league home run. Moustakas singled. Getz dropped down a sacrifice bunt. Escobar singled, and that tied the game at 2. And then the string of 7 in a row to finish for Scherzer. 1 and 2 on Getz.
Okay, that's that changeup. He'll throw that any time he wants to. He's got really good command with it. Moves away from the lefties like that last one.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Saw Chris Getz last year bat with an upright stance, and then, as you pointed out, in spring training went to more of a crouch stance. Now back to upright, and it seems like maybe he's changed his hand position. He's done a lot of work with George Brett, resting that bat on his back shoulder.
Yep. A good relaxing point.
And he made contact, so he didn't swing, but foul tipped it into Avila's glove, and Benoit begins his outing with a strikeout. And now Escobar, he drove in a run in the 5th inning. His 20th of the year. That tied the game at 2. He is 1 for 2 tonight. There have been many pitchers like Joaquin Benoit, guys with big arms who just couldn't quite get it done as major league starters. He was a top prospect in the Rangers organization forever. And then he moved to the bullpen. He had a lot of shoulder problems with Texas. Had a big year with the Tampa Bay Rays pitching out of their pen and just redefined himself. And now one of the top setup men in the league. And on Friday made his 500th career appearance.
Yep, no, he's found his role, that's for sure. He's good back there. He's got command, he's got experience, and he's got confidence. Now, Alex has got a strike on him. I mean, Esky, he's got to get on base somehow. Maybe bunt. Any way you can. Now he won't with 2. But Cabrera was hugging the line and in, but there was a lot of room. You know, and he doesn't have to be perfect with the bunt either. Fielder has to be perfect, but with 2 strikes, you're not going to try it now. Escobar this year's not bunting as much as he did last year. For some reason. Because he's really good at it.
And I felt like that was a big part of him hitting .293 last year.
It was.
Had a pretty good swing. Still 1 and 2. He had been 0 for 12, and Ned Yost gave him Sunday afternoon off. And he put an end to that 0 for 12 last night, going 1 for 3 with a run scored. And now 1 for 2 with an RBI tonight. And when Ned Yost shuffled the batting order on this homestand, putting Salvador Perez at 3rd, Eric Hosmer 2nd, that moved Escobar down to number 9. Hold to Cabrera. Over to Fielder, 2 down.
Cabrera's got a nice short throwing stroke. He's powerful. Whips that ball across the diamond. Watch it. He's going to get himself moving. He just snaps it over there. His feet were heading that way towards first before he even caught the ball.
Alex is 0 for 2 with a walk and now batting at .301. Takes a strike from Benoit. Just a couple of weeks ago, he was hitting .352.
Yeah, I mean, he's really struggled the last couple of weeks.
11 hits in his last 69 at bats. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Boy, home plate umpire Jordan Baker, he can credit Alex Avila for saving a bruise on him from that pick there. He would have got hit, but Avila picked it with no problem.
Little high, 2-1. Alex has faced Benoit 6 times. He has 1 hit. Royals have not had a base runner since scoring 2 runs in the 5th inning. Through the left side. There's a good looking swing for Alex. And he's on with 2 outs.
There you go. Keep that batting average up over 300. Going with it. Outer half of the plate. Perfect stroke. Short to the ball.
Alex has a stolen base tonight. He walked in the 1st and stole 2nd. And now at first with 2 down for Eric Hosmer. Hosmer takes strike 1.
Lefties have hit Benoit at 204 with 1 homer. He's given up a home run to a righty. They're only hitting 195. Benoit, he's been pretty stingy. But can be done. Hosmer get him a pitch, put one up in that wind. Take the lead.
Hosmer is 0 for 4 in the past against Benoit. Alex is not running, and the pitch is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. If the Royals take the lead in this inning, it could be Kelvin Herrera pitching the 9th. Greg Holland has pitched in 5 of the last 6 games. Started to go, and he went around. And that was not going to be called a strike. That looked like a good pitch as far as location goes. But Hosmer went too far.
Let's see where it was. Ooh, man. Good spot.
Alex flinched. He thought about going, and the pitch is outside. Tiger outfield playing very deep, trying to prevent the extra base hit with the tying run at first. So deep you can hardly see him. Alex trying to get a jump over at first. He is not running, and Hosmer takes in the dirt. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So that's an advantage the Royals need right now with the deep outfield. It'll be very difficult for Hosmer to get one to the outfield and score Alex from first. But now Alex will be running with the pitch.
So why not find a gap or put it over? Hasn't homered since May 9th. His only homer this year.
Alex runs, and Hosmer strikes out. Fastball at 95. Benoit strikes out 2. The Royals are scoreless to the 9th inning. The Tigers lead 3-2.
All right, check out this extra slow motion camera work by our guys in the truck. They're doing a heck of a job. Steal by Alex Gordon. Strikeout. Fielder, nice play up there on the rail. Moose, good effort.
Morgan Kramer and Nick Danzo are cameramen with the Exmo look. There's Morgan.
Way to go, guys. Ride the wave. Up and down.
Before we remodeled the stadium, Morgan used to be our camera guy out in left field, and when there was a home run up on the grass, remember the grass hill out there? And we'd always egg him on to leave his camera position and go get the baseball. Can't do that anymore.
Would he do it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a sucker to peer pressure. So Gutierrez wants to keep the Tigers right here. The Royals will get a shot at Jose Valverde in the bottom of the ninth. And Gutierrez, who got the final out of the eighth, will pitch to Garcia, Tuiasa Sopo, and Hunter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Garcia singled as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning and now grounds it up the middle. Escobar picks it off and throws him out 1 away. Speaking of stadium renovation, on this date in 1968, a groundbreaking ceremony at this location with Mr. Ewing Kauffman as ground is broken what eventually becomes the Harry S. Truman Sports Complex. On this date in 1968, and the Royals moved in here in 1973. Renovations complete in 2009. 1 ball, no strikes.
That's where you want to put it on this big guy. Keep it down and away from him. Give him anything in his wheelhouse. He's strong. Keep it right where it is. Get a chance at Valverde.
Hit well to center field. Kane gets turned around, and he's going to have to play it off the wall. Made a pretty good throw to second base. The Royals were in what is referred to as a sure double alignment.
Can't defense that. He gets up underneath that. That's a solo homer to dead center. He powdered it.
So he mentioned that Ned Yost would probably go to Kelvin Herrera in a save situation in the 9th inning. And instead he will bring him on with a runner at second base and 1 out. Royals are down to their last 3 outs, trying to keep the Tigers right here. Herrera to face Hunter when we come back. Tomorrow afternoon, James Shields and Justin Verlander. The second time they have matched up this year. The Royals won the first game back in April in Detroit in extra innings. And they'll match up tomorrow at 1:10 for the final game of this series. The game will not be televised on Fox Sports Kansas City, so come on out. It's going to be another warm day. One of the premier pitching matchups you're going to see in our division. Tomorrow at 1:10. If you can't make it, the game can be seen on the MLB Network. So Kelvin Herrera with a runner at second base and 1 out. And Torrey Hunter, he has struck out 3 times tonight. He is 0 for 4. Herrera came on with 2 outs in the 8th inning last night. Gave up a single and got the final out of the 8th. Greg Holland picked up his 13th save, and the Royals took game 1 3-2, and now the Tigers lead 3-2 in the 9th inning tonight. Tuiasa Sopo at second base with 1 out. Getz plays a sharp one-hopper and throws out Hunter. So 2 down with Tuiasa Sopo going to third. Any chance the Royals pitch to Miguel Cabrera here?
No. Absolutely not. Well, you know what, though? Ned might want to. I don't know. Let's see.
No.
Yeah, I'm not pitching to him.
This will be the 8th time he has been intentionally walked. That leads the league.
How about an 87-mile-an-hour pitch out?
You don't think Herrera's into it?
That's as good. That's as hard as some guy's fastball on a pitch out.
That one was 93.
That's what I'm saying. Salvi, be careful.
Yeah, take it easy,
Guy's
Kelvin.
just 90 feet away. Look at him. Look at Salvi now. He's bending his knees a little bit more. He's getting ready for that. How many times have you seen a 90-mile-an-hour pitch out? I mean, intentional walk, not just a pitch out. I mean, it's amazing this guy's
And
arm.
for him, that's just free and easy, right? I mean, he's not trying to throw 90 or 93.
No, there's a lot of pitchers out there saying, really? He's very talented. He says it's hereditary. Not a big guy, but he sure can bring it. Upper 90s, good changeup, little slider.
So they will pitch to Prince Fielder, who is 1 for 4. He singled in the 8th inning, and that was his first hit against the Royals this year. Fielder has faced Herrera twice before tonight. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Strike over the outside, 1-1. Royals in the bottom of the 9th, hoping it is still 3-2. And they'll have Perez, Butler, and Kane. Number 3, number 4, number 5 hitters coming up. On the ground, Hosmer makes the play. And a difficult feed to Herrera, but he grabs it and goes to the bag. And that's the inning. So Herrera gets the job done, finishing off the Tigers in the 9th. Jose Valverde coming on for the save. He'll face Salvador Perez, Billy Butler, and Lorenzo Cain.
Valverde, excuse me. Jose. Opponent's average 190. His fastball, be low to mid 90s. Likes to challenge guys. Comes right after you. He's got a split finger. 2-seam, 4-seam.
Made his season debut against the Royals. The Tigers elected not to bring him back. And it wasn't that long ago. It was just 2 seasons ago. He went 49 out of 49 in save opportunities, and then 5 for 5 in the postseason. But he blew his first save opportunity opening day last year. And it was a productive year for him, but it was a year where the Tigers were on pins and needles when he took the mound. They weren't able to find a replacement for him, so they signed him. And one day after the Tigers blew a save at Minnesota very early in the year, they said, okay, let's give him a chance. Signed a minor league deal on April the 4th and made his debut against the Royals in late April in Detroit. 8 out of 10 in save opportunities.
Okay, he comes at you mainly fastballs. He didn't throw a whole lot of splitties.
Fastball at 92. You mentioned low to mid 90s. And the fastball velocity was his problem last year. It was 90, 91, maybe topping out at 92 like that last pitch, as opposed to 93, 94, 95.
We'll see if he can get it up there like that. He relies on movement. Sometimes less is more. He gets more movement.
And down in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Sal is 0 for 3. He has hit in 6 straight. But tonight, a fly out to left, a ground out to short, a fly out to center. He's only faced Valverde once, and he's 0 for 1.
Valverde is 2 for 23 hitters are against him from the right side of the plate. 1 home run. So 2 of those, or 1 of those 2 hits was a homer. As you see that dyed beard, he's got it
bleached on one side.
Yeah, split right down the middle.
And that is outside, 3-0. Valverde stares in at home plate umpire Jordan Baker, wondering why that pitch wasn't a strike.
Because it was off the plate.
Three and 1. As a team, the Tigers have blown 7 saves this year, and not all those in the 9th inning. It's just leads that Jim Leyland's team has given up in later innings. On the ground, base hit left field. So they were guarding the lines, and that left a big hole on the left side. And Sal extends his hitting streak to 7 games.
Okay, that's a nice way to start this inning. Elliot Johnson's going to take over for Salvi. Now it's on Elliot Johnson. He's good and loose. He's 8 for 8 stealing bases. Fastball right down the middle, 3-1. Salvi was waiting.
You have very good speed at first base, and if Nebbios is thinking stolen base, Johnson is 8 out of 8, and you have a candidate to ground into a double play at the plate, and a pitcher who usually does a good job of keeping the ball at or below the knees.
Well, hopefully Billy can get some elevation.
Johnson takes off right away, and the throw down on a hop is not in time. So Johnson is 9 for 9, and now the tying run is in scoring position with nobody out.
Yeah, that's a great job. I mean, the sooner you go, the better it is. I mean, he knows Valverde from the stretch. He didn't slide step. Most closers could care less about a base runner. They only focus on that hitter. But in this situation here, the base runner can tie the game on a base hit here. Billy Butler going to look to find a hole, and maybe more.
Just the second base runner for the Royals since the 5th inning. Max Scherzer went 7, gave up 2 runs. Joaquin Benoit pitched a scoreless 8th, and now Valverde in trouble right away. Billy, by the way, 2 out of 8 against Valverde with a walk.
But he's due for a homer. He hasn't homered since May 14th. How about it? Be a special one.
High and inside, 2-0. Talking about hitting streaks, Perez extended his to 7. Billy is 0 for 2 tonight, and he has an 11-game hitting streak against the Tigers. 3-0. Valverde wants a new baseball.
It's pretty dramatic, isn't he? Walks around, struts around, has his antics.
He's got that routine before he comes in from the bullpen where he spits out about a gallon of water. He starts chewing gum in the 5th inning. And in his mind, each chomp is releasing negative energy. And before he takes them out, he spits out the gum and all of that negative energy. So he's got one quirk after another. Now we just need a quirky pitch. And Billy takes it across the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Okay, well, like Salvador Perez, he took 3-0. And then when he got the 3-1, he got him another pitch he could handle. Billy wanted that one badly. I could tell by the way after that ball went past him, he says, "Oh, throw me that one again, please."
Now the pitch up and fouled it away.
Okay, that's spelled high on the outer half.
And Jim Leland realizing that maybe this isn't Valverde's night, and he already has somebody warming up behind him, Phil Cope.
Leland knows Royals come back and get this one. They get the series. He wants to nail it down.
Good protection swing.
All right, full counts. This is what Billy does.
That's a surprise. Not Billy's number, but that the league average is just 219 for the full count.
Okay, second baseman Infante, he's trying to hold Elliott Johnson close, but Valverde, he's not going to try to pick off. That's all he'll do. Not going to throw one. Most closers, you rarely even see him throw to a base. They might try to throw over a couple of times at first. But Elliott Johnson, he can get as big a lead as he can, especially a secondary lead. That's the lead on the pitch. Got a freeze on a line drive there. There's nobody out.
Billy, fastball up around his neck. Timed it perfectly. Just didn't get it on the fat part of the bat. And that swing right there would remind me of a home run that he hit last year about this time against Jason Mott of the Cardinals. Remember that? Jeremy Guthrie getting the rally barbecue sauce going.
Hope it works.
Another 3-2. Struck him out looking. And I think Billy's trying to tell Jordan Baker that ball almost hit me. Now, according to the grid, it was very close to being a strike. But in Billy's mind, if the pitch is that close to him, it shouldn't be a strike.
Oh, well, you know what? With the runner out there, the tying run, sometimes you just got to tell yourself, if it's close, I got to be hacking. And this was a rare off-speed pitch.
Boy, and I tell you, watching Billy's body language, we don't know for sure, only Billy knows, but that would suggest that he was looking for something away and not in. So you can understand why, and he is still boiling mad in the Royals dugout, and he has just been thrown out of the game, and here he comes. That is easily, not even close, easily the most angry I have seen Billy Butler in his major league career.
Well, it's safe to say that Jordan Baker is not going to receive a bottle of the barbecue sauce.
So back to work. Lorenzo Cain 0 for 3 tonight. Tying run at second base, 1 out. This is Lorenzo's first career at bat against Valverde. And he hits it into very shallow center field, and out to get it is Peralta. So Johnson, who is at second base with nobody out, is still standing there with 2 down.
Why not David Lowe?
Max Scherzer had pitched 4 hitless innings until David Lowe led off the 5th inning with a home run, his first major league home run. That made it 2-1 Detroit. Alcides Escobar drove in a run to tie it in that inning. Tigers took the lead in the 8th. Fastball at 95 for a strike. Salvador Perez opened the inning with a single. Elliott Johnson running for him. Took off on the first pitch to Billy Butler and stole second. Valverde struck out Butler. Cain has popped to short, and now David Lowe takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sixteen of the last 21 games between the Royals and the Tigers have been decided by 2 runs or less. Johnson takes off for third, and Lowe fouls it back into the seats.
Okay, the outfielder, the center fielder Garcia, he's playing low to the pull side, leaving a huge gap out here in left center.
Grounded foul. With Johnson's speed, anything to the outfield makes it very unlikely that the Tigers will be able to throw him out, but they're going to try. And even though David is homered in the game, center fielder Garcia extremely shallow. Left fielder Matt Tuiasosopo very shallow.
And Hunter's deep.
Little tap out in front of the plate. And that will do it. So Valverde hangs in there. He gets through the 9th inning after giving up a leadoff single and a stolen base. The Royals had the tying run at second base with nobody out. But Valverde picks up his 9th save, getting Butler, Kane, and David Lowe. And even though David Lowe didn't come through in the 9th inning, he is our forward play of the game, going back to Lowe leading off the 5th inning.
And I'm going to tell you what. Too bad they didn't continue their winning streak, but it was a good, solid game. And David Lowe, congratulations. Hope you get a whole bunch more in your career. But that was a nice ball. Broke up the no-hitter in the shutout in one swing of the bat.
And it puts an end to the Royals' 6-game winning streak. So now make it 17 of the last 22 games between the Royals and the Tigers have been decided by 2 runs or less. Tonight it's a 1-run game. Tigers win it 3-2. We'll be right back.